Happy 1st of February, y'all. I just had to throw this in because I had to redo the episode that I did early this morning on February 1st because I had an instrumental that was copywritten and they blocked the whole video. So just want to say that. This is titled Them and I because I had the song Aquemini, the instrumental Aquemini by the Aquarius celebrity big boy from Outkast, as well as Gemini being the North Node. So I tied those two in nicely, and YouTube didn't accept it. So I just wanted to say that. That is why it's titled Them and I. That is why it's titled Humanitarian Evolution Aquarius Liberation. Hopefully it'll let me play the last song, which is another one by Outkast. Peace. Thanks for tuning in to Addicted to Astrology. All right, y'all. So we are in the beginning of Mercury retrograde, day 2, month 2 of 2021. Let me just pan right back over here. Do you notice that the symbol, one of the symbols for Aquarius, okay? Aquarius is the water bearer. That is why I'm wearing my watercolor inspired clothing. I'm giving a new look. My mother, when the Great Conjunction happened in the 1980s to 2000, when technology really took off, and I'm gonna touch on that in this segment, this episode, my mother wore 2 different earrings. Like, she would have worn this feather earring with just a hoop. I'm expanding it. I'm taking it to new levels, and I'm wearing 3. So I have a matching set and 1 third wheel. But back to the symbol. So the symbol of Aquarius, the water bearer, that's why you see the water pouring out of the bowl or whatever you want to call it, the craft, is the waves. And I call this the waves of information because Aquarius is the air sign. The water is kind of like going out into the air. It's pouring out. The information is pouring out. So I call this the higher and lower information. What do I mean about that? Now, Aquarius used to be the 11th house, and I definitely still am trying to figure this out. I don't know if this is based on the moon or if it's based on the age of Aquarius. So I'm still figuring that out, y'all. So that's why I'm gonna pan back over here and give my lovely new craft I made this week, which is a flowering project. Shout out to Victoria. Her YouTube channel, I'll put a link actually in the bottom. It is Royalty and Company, I believe, and she taught me how to make this. She's one of my former students when I taught high school the last 2 years of teaching, 2015 to 2017. Shout out to you, Tori. Now, Mercury retrograde in Aquarius. Higher and lower thinking, higher and lower energies, higher and lower worlds, okay? Mercury retrograde started yesterday on January the 31st. So we're in the 2nd day. Mercury retrograde is kind of like a 2-month period, 2-month energy. Mercury retrograde has to deal with the planet Mercury going backwards. You don't actually see with your naked eye, or even if you were to get a telescope, the planet going in a backwards motion. It just feels that way because it's slowing down when it's normally moving pretty quickly, okay? So it begins on yesterday in Aquarius at 26 degrees. So it was actually in the mastery level. It was almost in Pisces, 26 degrees today. Yesterday, it's probably going back a little bit slower than it would move forward, than it would move direct. Give me a second. My cat is going to scratch at this door until I crack it open. Okay, so thinking of Aquarius as its normal, or what we're used to state as being the 11th sign in the 11th house. That house has to deal with groups. Air signs have to deal with information. Mercury is ruled by Gemini, which is why I connected that also. I connected it because the Gemini North Node, which is still going to be with us until 2022. So we have a while. The air sign energy, taking it back to 1980 to 2000, is all about newer innovative technology, newer innovative thinking, newer innovative information. It's higher perspective type of energy. It's evolving energy. I'm gonna also play one of my favorite liberating songs by Big Boy from Outkast and Andre by Outkast, called Liberation, which is an evolving kind of song. Mercury retrograde is always, as I always say, begins with the prefix re, retrograde, meaning redo, relearn, rework, revisit, review. All the re's you can think of that begin with the prefix re. Mercury, again, is the planet of communication. Mercury is bluish gray. It reflects the blue. So it reflects the blue water from which planet? I can't remember. Then I wore orange lipstick, and remember, Z is all about energy and signs. For the other planet we're going to speak on, which is Jupiter. It is known that Jupiter is an orangish colored planet. So is Mars. Jupiter is the biggest planet. Mars is the fiery planet. Mercury is the fast planet. We'll be talking about all those planets today. All right, so Mercury retrograde again is time to slow down. It lasts again for 3 weeks in retrograde motion. You have the shadow period before, which began actually on January 15th. I thought it was 10 days. It's actually like 2 weeks previously to the beginning of it. So the shadow period began on January 15th. Mercury retrograde goes direct. Mercury goes direct on February 21st. And then it'll be another shadow period after that. And when it ends on February the 21st, it'll be in 11 degrees Aquarius. So it does not go back as far as into Capricorn as I previously mentioned. Correction on that. So after it goes into direct motion on February 21st at 11 degrees Aquarius, the shadow period is another 2 weeks, which extends it until March 13th. March 3rd, I'm sorry. I think I have that written down, right? All right. So this is a time when you are slowing down. You're making sure you aren't rushing anything. You're making sure you revisit and review everything, especially contracts, especially information. This is a time, because it's in Aquarius, for groups to exaggerate information. Groups, emphasis on groups. Jump into conclusions happens when you are in a Mercury retrograde. Being more mindful and aware, being more forward and futuristic thinking when dealing with Aquarius. And this is kind of like, because Aquarius is new energy, it's weird energy, it has to do with technology. So this is like the age of, also in respective ways, the age of the nerds. So weird works at this time. Nerds have always been ahead of their time, you know, the stereotype nerds. And a lot of us have that energy in us, wanting to be ahead of our time, but maybe too fixed to really know how to do it. So open-mindedness in order to evolve is what we need to work on and review and revisit during this Mercury retrograde. The internet and technology and the rise of electronics has been happening since the Great Conjunction of, I think it was Libra in 1980 to 2020, and that's another air sign. Then it went back into, in between 2000 and 2020, and went back into Capricorn, which is the earth sign. So it became stubborn and grounded again. Nobody really wanted the change. You know, the technology continued to grow, but not as much as we're getting ready to see, basically. This energy is going to be teaching and learning and open-mindedness and variety. And also, it could be too much information. Like I said, it could be exaggerated information, especially social media, okay? Especially social groups, especially the masses, especially celebrity interaction, notifications, alerts, news, media, reminders, all those things you have on your phone, your television, and this, it can be overwhelming. But for this 2-month period, so we're like 2 weeks into it, because we just got out of the shadow period and went directly into Mercury retrograde. It's just time to keep a more open mind, to see what we are locked into and what we've been fixed on, and see how we can look at new information, re-observe this information, if that's a word, observe it again, review it, and see how it works with the new world that we're entering. Okay, so then Mercury's going to aspect. Conjunct is the aspect. Conjunct means blended energies. Conjunct means the planets are close to each other. So remember I said I was going to talk about Mercury as well as Jupiter. Jupiter is a planet of expansion. So I expanded my lip color for Jupiter, and I'm going to expand the information that I'm carefully giving out and reviewed and went to a few sources to give and present to you. So on your birth charts, and again, let me know if you would like your birth chart done. They are still about $35 because I have not done them in a while, so I have not raised the price like I said I would. So take advantage, because as soon as it gets busy again, the price will go up. Birth charts as well as astrology are ways to show where you've come from and where you're going, and just giving you a forecast on how to compare it to the current forecast, which is what I'm doing on YouTube and birth charts, are to find out how you can compare and use your energies within yourself that you always carry into the collective, because what is above so below, what is in you that comes out of you affects everything. Okay, so if you have the following degrees in your planet, so when I do the birth charts, the degrees, I also talk about the degrees, put it all along whatever planet you have, whatever sign it's in with the degree. If you have the degrees between 11 and 26 degrees on your chart, this is where the reviewing needs to happen during Mercury retrograde. This has to do with you individually, what needs to take place, the planets or the houses. So for me, for an example, I have my sun in 22 degrees. I don't really need to mention, I'm a Scorpio, sun Scorpio, but I'm not going to mention all of the signs. But I have the sun in 22 degrees, my moon is in 20, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, Lilith, which is your repressed side, the side you really want to bring out, your shadow side, and the North Node, which has to do with your destiny. So these are all the things that I need to work on. Again, sun has to do with your overall personality. Moon is your emotions. And I'm just talking about me because it might be the other planets. I didn't mention my Venus. I didn't mention my Mercury. I didn't mention my Mars. Sun is my overall personality. Moon is my emotions. Saturn is how I work and how the world views me. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm gonna move on. Uranus is how I rebel, or the surprises over my life, the planet of surprise. Neptune is how I dream or what I see in front of me. And I can definitely say if Neptune is in my chart, because Neptune is a generation planet, between 11 and 26 degrees, most of Generation X is probably needing to review what we see in front of us. Pluto is the planet of transformation. I'm sure a lot of us have this too in the degrees. in any generation, because Pluto is another generational planet. A lot of transforming, a lot of changing going on with all of us. So check your birth charts out. Lilith, again, me need to review what I'm ready to share with people going into this new energy. It's a lot of work to do. Houses, really quick. My houses, the first house has to deal with self, ego. Second house, security. Third house, information. I have it also in my seventh house, which has to deal with my relationships. The eighth house, which has to deal with Scorpio, secret, sex, life, death, rebirth. And in my ninth house, which has to do with, excuse me, my beliefs and travel. So a lot of work. I got a lot of work. And I guess as I evolve, what I do with myself will affect and effect the world. Because whoever's watching takes this information on, gives it to somebody else, they take it on. That's how the age of Aquarius is going to work. February 12th is Aquarius new moon, by the way, and that's going to be like a portal that's going to catapult us into this new energy. But I'm going to come back to the new moon. I want to talk about from going back to January the 11th and 12th on to the 3rd and 4th. I'm sorry, March the 4th and 5th. This 2-month period of Mercury shadow, retrograde, and after shadow, whatever you want to call it, as well as it conjuncting Jupiter all this time as well, and 3 different times. So the first time was back in January, in the middle of January. Jupiter being the planet of abundance, expansion, making things big, positivity, conjuncting, blending its energy with Mercury, the information planet. This means bigger news, more information, more exaggeration, along with that planet Neptune already giving you exaggerated information via celebrities. Information that you want to know could definitely come in as well too, because Jupiter is welcoming much information conjuncting Mercury. Most of it's going to be positive, and let's stay with that. So the only thing I want to say that you need to be careful with is what you're saying, what you're typing, what you're speaking, what you are writing, because Jupiter may exaggerate what you say or how you even feel. So this is kind of like viral type of information coming in and going out of us. So Aquarius being the future, messages are actually coming in from our future selves. So depending on who you want to be careful of what you say, because you want a better you. So then that is the perfect time now to review all these parts of you now and where you want to be. You're basically going to be talking to yourself. Where do you want to be? Okay, Z, I want to be in like 5 different places. So how you going to make that happen? Okay, so I'm going to do this, and this. Perfect time, Mercury retrograde, to review. This is going to be actually a really positive Mercury retrograde, even though you got to watch out during Mercury retrograde. Got to, leave early and take all those precautions that every Mercury retrograde has, because it has to deal with communication. So things are going to be down, like copiers and our phones, and even uploading this video might take a while. But this actual Mercury retrograde in Aquarius is giving a positive energy. Mercury conjuncting Jupiter is giving us higher vibrations, because Jupiter is a positive planet. It rules Sagittarius, the positive sign. It brings the answers you want. Sagittarius is positive. It can also be uncouth. It can be that mouth, those things you need to hear. Okay, it could be tough love, which is what I give, because my Mercury is in Sagittarius on my birth chart. So the motivating information that we could be getting could be shifting us personally with understanding ourselves better. Okay, and then with this kind of elevating within ourselves, or this kind of understanding who we want to be, stepping into our new selves, Jupiter says, give more. Aquarius says, this is going to be newer and better. And Mercury says, let me move your mind and your legs. Okay, Mercury definitely deals with the mind, but it's like saying and doing. It's like you're doing what you're saying you're going to do. And Aquarius is an air sign. This is fresh air. This is higher possibilities. This is new experiences. Mercury conjuncting Jupiter that happened back in January on the 11th and 12th at 5 degrees. So just at that beginning stages. And I actually got a money blessing. I remember on one of those days, I think it was the 11th, 111, Ashe. Jupiter conjuncted, oh, it will be, that's the first conjunction. The second conjunction is in February around Valentine's Day at 13 degrees. So in the middle stages, okay. The final conjunction is at the end of the shadow period of Mercury. It'll be at 17 degrees, so it'll still be kind of at middle stages because it'll be direct by then. So it's going back forward, okay, from going all the way back to the beginning stages of us reviewing this new life that we want to present to ourselves. So many opportunities are going to definitely come. New, innovative, confident energies, more detailed plans, ideas coming together, positive energies coming in, and just make sure you review these energies and you go slow with these energies because they're new, you know. This is a whole new dimension. I can't express that enough. And then in the middle of that second conjunction is when, well, not in the middle of it, right before that second conjunction is the new moon in Aquarius. That portal of new energy, new levels of the collective and yourself coming through. And Aquarius, that humanitarian energy has to deal with individuals and the collective. So how are you evolving and then working on that energy to pour out into the collective? What are you, because everyone wants to be valued, right? And your ideas that you find true or fitting for yourself, you find your soul group, people that have the same kind of ideas and want to build with you, because Aquarius is new, innovative ideas for the collective, for groups. So relating in these relationships for once, even like, you know, we're going to talk about Venus really quick too, being able to get the person that can finally relate with you and you're not having to be stuck with settling. Okay, but before we get into that, you can show other options and see who's really interested in you or interested in getting your information. And there'll be many. You'll actually, you know, see that I've definitely stepped into new relationships with people that I never imagined would be refreshing to talk to. Shout out to the soul group. Shout out to the new man I met yesterday, okay, who has the same kind of mindset, energies, wants and needs connecting in love wise. Shout out to him. Mental break days definitely are coming though, because this energy can create chaos. This energy can create so much information, and it absolutely needs to be a time where you just be like, okay, let me turn off the phone. You know, too much energy coming in. Let me turn off the news. Let me turn off the media. Let me turn off these alerts and all these things going on our phones and our computers and on our televisions. Especially with Aquarius, again, dealing with groups and the collective. So Mercury could bring in many opinions, many conversations, but many developments and understandings as well. It could be, for example, conversations with friends or family. especially past friends. So I'm expecting to talk to some people that I have dismissed in the previous months, okay? And for example, people who we have not been able to get our point across to previously when everything was in Capricorn, okay? But even now, Aquarius is a fixed sign still, right? So it's like, to deal with an Aquarius, you have to deal with them in an open-minded way, or even any fixed sign. A fixed sign is set until you open the doors to be open-minded and hear out and really not be fake. Okay, I can't say that any nicer. Especially with Scorpios too. All of us, Leos, Scorpios, Taurus, Aquarius, we all want to be told the truth, okay? Or else we can't bring those energies in of open-mindedness. Okay, if we sit down and have conversations with people that we had disagreements with before, and I'm talking to myself because I've had 100 disagreements in the last month, and I've dismissed 100 people, and if anybody comes back ready to listen, I'm ready to have a conversation, and I'm gonna leave it at that. The retrograde is reviewing these fixed energies as well, so tied with the chaos in the world because of so much information coming in, Uranus rules Aquarius, and it is in the sign Taurus, the other fixed sign, okay, that's giving all these energies in the universe right now, because it's like a fixed world right now, or mutable, but mostly fixed. I think we went over that in the last few episodes as well. So Taurus is right now stirring up the fixed energy. Uranus is stirring up the fixed energy in both Aquarius and Taurus. Uranus is the surprised, the rebellious planet. So it has to shake up things. It has to bring the confusion, to bring the overall objective, the new energy, okay? Aquarius is an air sign. So deep breathing also helps. Meditation, because Mercury deals with the mind. I'm gonna even slow down because I feel like I've been talking fast. But I do want to keep this short enough to upload within a day, because sometimes when I make it too long, it takes 2 days. Mercury retrograde, or Mercury when it is retrograding, will also square Mars on February the 10th to the 12th. Mars is in Taurus as well. This can bring conflict and discomfort, but remember, squares, even though they bring conflict and discomfort and arguing even with the two fixed signs, okay, the bull and the water bear, this wants to throw out all this flowing information, and the bull's like, nah. Let's stay secure, right? Taurus is about security. So the new information that's coming in might be what's missing, and what Mars in Taurus needs to take that action planet, that action, that whatever you want to build, whatever you want to do, it needed that information from Mercury in retrograde to be reviewed. So this is still a positive square. Okay, not all squares in their conflict are bad. They're needed a lot most of the time. So when this happens, that Mercury squaring Mars in Taurus, and actually most of middle of February, there will be 6 planets and the moon, because in the middle of February, or February the 11th, the moon moves into Aquarius. So 6 planets and the moon will be on all Aquarius and all fixed energy between 6 degrees and 23 degrees. So if you have these planets in any of those degrees, the sun is in Aquarius, the moon again, Mercury, Venus, which enters today, the 1st of February, just leaving Capricorn, entering now Aquarius, Jupiter and Saturn, all in Aquarius. New energy for all those planets. New overall energy over the collective via the sun. New way to handle your emotions. Aquarius are very nonchalant, even though they work well with groups. It's the weird energy. It's the new energy that the groups are not used to yet. Okay. The new moon in Aquarius will bring new ways to deal with emotions. The way the Aquarius is nonchalant is kind of a good way to get over your overly emotionals, especially for me, a Scorpio, water signs, over emotion. Mercury, new ways to get information. Venus, new ways to love, new ways to build your finances, your beauty. Jupiter, new ways to abundantly receive anything and everything, especially finances. Saturn, new ways to work things out, new ways to present yourself to the world. All these are very positive, no matter how you split it. And if we open up to these new energies, there's serious manifestation we can do. Serious manifestation, and I cannot express enough, and I'm getting ready to get serious in my conspiracy facts bag. And in my spiritual bag, the energies that happened since the Great Conjunction back in December. And I said this last episode, and I said this before, and I'm going to keep saying it. Certain collectives, 1111, certain collectives do not want you to take this energy, and they want it all for themselves. Manifest like crazy for the next 2 years, 2.5 years, while these planets are in Aquarius, especially Saturn and Jupiter, the father and the son planets, the biggest planet and the oldest planet, the planet of abundance, greatness, expansion, and the planet of the world, Saturn, the planet of the universe. So Venus, and we're gonna wrap this up. Venus enters Aquarius today again, like I said, on February the 1st. Venus has to do with love, beauty, confidence, feminine needs. Venus is going to get all her feminine needs met, okay? Venus is conjuncting, another blended energy again, Saturn in Aquarius at 5 degrees. This is the beginning on February the 6th. And it's sextiles Chiron as well, same day. So this coming week, this energy is present. And actually my Venus is in Scorpio. Loving like a Scorpio, honey. I love my Venus and my Scorpio, and it's in 6 degrees too. So this is energy for me. And anybody that has like the lower degrees, anything close to 5 or 6 degrees can blend and conjunct with this energy too. So Venus finally gets clarification around what her heart needs now. Speaking of all of us, okay, because she's going to give her energy above, so below. What may have been overlooked, whatever you've needed, whatever you've wanted to receive, when it comes to Venus and what she has to offer, this conjunction can bring a great manifestation with money, with relationships, with beautifying yourself, with feeling more positive and more confident. But the transit will bring positive outcomes of matters to your heart especially, and things you've always desired, things you're ready to receive, okay? Soulmate energy. And like I said, I'm definitely pulling away from my old loves and finding new loves. I definitely found a couple in the last day. Get ready for manifestation. It's not just me. It's not just me. Venus aspects many planets, especially Mercury and Jupiter. This is how do we infuse the collective with love. How do we do it in a big, exaggerated way? Saturn puts in the work, okay, for the energies manifesting your new dreams, your new loves, and it sits in Aquarius for 2.5 years. So this is big. Take advantage of it, okay? especially with all these planets right now, this week, this month, mostly in Aquarius. But Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius for the next 2 to 2.5 years is going to, I can't express it enough, y'all. Get into it, get into astrology, get into spiritual stuff, get into positive rituals, not satanic ones, and really make your dreams come true. So, to wrap things up, Mercury retrograde, make sure you are redoing, revising, making sure you're backing up your information on your phones, on your computers, on your hard drives. Problem solve. Take precautions, especially with driving, especially with sharp objects, especially with the words that come out your mouth and your fingers. Meditate. Deep breathe. Stay calm, cool, collected. Let things roll off your back. Take in what you can. Pause certain other things. I'm looking at this. I'm gonna get my eyelashes together one day. And then enjoy the Aquarius energy. Enjoy the flowing of the information coming in. Take in what you can. Stay on the high. Forget the low. Or learn from the low. It is the age of Aquarius. It is a new day. And it's okay to be you. It's okay to be different. It's okay to be unique. It's okay to be elevated. It feels good to be elevated. It feels liberating. Happy birthday to all Aquariuses. I will be back as soon as I can. I'm going to get into this new energy and all these things I need to review. I will review them for you as well. If you'd like your birth chart read so you can see if you have any of these degrees I was speaking on. If you are Aquarius, you will get a discount. I am TMZ. This is Addicted to Astrology. Teaching everyone abundantly. Shout out to Jupiter. Empowering many groups. Shout out to Aquarius. Z. That's me. Enlightening every day. Ooh, y'all. I think I've had enough of looking at this eyelash. Have you? All right, y'all. Y'all have a wonderful week. I took off my lashes so I can give you the new, the real. And I just wanted to say something over this liberating, elevating music. I love it. There's a fine line between love and hate, and baby, I'm only human. There's a fine line between love and hate. See, that's liberation, and baby, I'm on it. I don't worry about what another say, and that's liberation, and baby, I'm on it. All right, y'all. That's my part. Although you know the other part. And again, I'm not celebrating celebrities, but I love lyrics. The part that Miss Ebody does. Let me get back to it. I'm making the video too long, but I had to do this part. Okay, here we go. Smoke in your face, you're a superstar. Niggas hang around cause of who you are. I just had to stop right there. New world. We're not listening to everybody because of who they are. We're listening to self, so we can give the community our best self, the collective our best self. We're listening to ourselves stepping into this new, because this is our life. Not who is telling you. Okay, listen to yourself. Step into new. Review. Mercury retrograde in Aquarius. Them and I, I'm gonna liberate. Peace, y'all.